Okay, so up till now, we have discussed in this particular subject the chapter number 1 as the introduction to production operation management and chapter number 2 as forecasting. Okay, and we come to know why this production operation management is important for industries and why forecasting is important for the industries. Okay, the basic purpose of production operation management, or the main objectives of a production operation management, are to be provide or to utilize the capacities as best as possible, and to control the cost, to control the quality. Okay, and to utilize the facilities properly. So this is the planning type. Okay, so for achieving these targets, or we can say that for achieving these management goals, we required a planning. Okay, most important thing is nothing but we required the planning, and without plan we cannot achieve the target. Okay, let us take the simple example of your examination. Let us say in next year in December month, you want to appear for the UPSC examination, and for that purpose you want to study for the UPSC. Okay, so this is just an example purpose I'm giving you. And if you're thinking that randomly I will study and I will crack that exam, okay, so that will not happen, or you will not able to achieve that target without any proper plan. Okay, so target with you and the time period with you. So need to plan your subjects for particular months or particular days, and accordingly you have to run your plan, or you have to achieve your plan goals according to the what you have decided to achieve the target. Okay, let us say if you not follow your timetable, then you will be behind the timetable and you will not able to complete overall syllabus for that particular examination, and will not attend all the question with 100% confidence in that particular examination. The same thing happen in the industries also. You first need to plan the things, and you should strive to achieve that particular planning goals. Okay, so the big plan or strategic planning will be divided into a small part, or small plans will be prepared that will be considered as a micro planning level. Okay, or micro planning. Okay, so let us say the big target is nothing but, let us say your company is doing better things, and the product that you are producing or your company is producing having good sale in the market. Okay, and every year the sale growth is 10% for your product in the market. Okay, and you want to make it 15% per month, and let us say or per year 15% per year product goods or selling target you want to increase every year. Okay, so for that increment in a target, or to achieve that target, or to understand the growth percentage, you should have a basic knowledge of a forecasting. Okay, and the firm methodology should be with you to calculate the demand of, or to forecast the demand of that particular product in the market. Okay, so that initially we have learned what is meant by forecasting and what are the different methodologies to determine the forecasted demand for a particular product in the market. Okay, so maybe you can use the qualitative methods like a Delphi method or market research or anything else, expert opinion method. So, or you can use the quantitative methods. Okay, regression analysis, then moving average methods, then like that others methods are also there. So what methodology your company is using, that is the different part, but you need to analyze the demand or future demand of that particular product, and then only you can go for the micro level planning or a macro level planning. Micro means small level planning, and the micro means the scope of plan is bigger one. Okay, let us consider the 10-year time period, 5-year time period, 4-year time period planning. So that is nothing but macro level planning. Okay, big level planning or strategic level planning, we can say that. And then that planning will be considered in a small part or a small time frame level. Okay, 1 month, 15 days, 1 day. Okay, that will be considered as a micro level planning. So forecasting is important. First thing, you understood that how forecasting is important for the planning purpose. Now you have predicted the growth of a 15% per year, and you need to achieve that particular growth every year. So what changes you need to perform at your company? That is also important. Okay, that is also important. Let us say you have 10 CNC machines, or consider VMC machines, or 5 CNC and 5 VMC machines, and the full scale capacity or particular machine, or the addition of all the machine production is 1,000 component per month, and it is the actual production for that particular machine with highest utilization. Okay, highest utilization of manpower, highest utilization of machine hours, highest utilization of your raw material. Okay, so these are the inputs for any process. So by using all the inputs with highest utilization, you are saying that I can achieve some level of a capacity. Okay, or I can achieve some level of a production, and next year you want more 15% production rate, or increment in a production by 15%. Then only your revenue will be increased, right? Okay, so here what you need to consider, first of all, you need to consider the every machine production rate. Okay, and what is the highest production rate for that particular machine, and in overall 1 year or overall 1 month, how much products can be produced for that particular machine. And if you want to go for the next level of a production, or if you want to target the next level, or we can say that the higher number of components, then you need to increase the production rate. Okay, but production rate having some limits. Okay, having that particular machine having some limits, then what is required? You need to enhance the capacity of your machining center or your company. So here the word is important, capacity. So capacity means what? The number of produced products in a given time period will be considered as a capacity. Okay, mota moti baat bol raha hu main. Okay, so number of produced products for a particular time period will be considered as, in a simple language, will be considered as the capacity of that particular plant. Okay, so my company is producing 1,000 component in a 1 day time period, so my capacity will be considered as 1,000. Okay, actual capacity will be considered as 1,000 components per period. Okay, so we are analyzing this capacity as a basement for the planning. We are analyzing the forecasting. Initially we have analyzed the forecasting. Okay, we have predicted what will be the demand for the future, and to achieve that demand, you should have a suitable equipment, you should have the proper skilled workers, you should have the proper skilled worker with the appropriate numbers. Okay, with the appropriate quantity. Okay, and you should have the appropriate number of machines. So all these things will comes under the capacity, and that will be converted into number of products produced. Okay, so that for the planning purpose, first step is nothing but a forecasting, second step is nothing but a capacity planning. Okay, second step is nothing but a capacity planning. Okay, is there any question, any doubt about the introduction of capacity planning? Is there any question, any doubt? If not, we can move ahead for the content of this particular chapter. Okay, content of this particular chapter or a syllabus. So you can write the heading as a capacity planning, and under that you can write the syllabus. The first point is concept, comma. Second is measurement of a capacity. Third, measures of capacity. Fourth, factors affecting. So factor affecting on capacity planning. Okay. Next, capacity planning procedure. Capacity planning procedure. Capacity planning procedure. Capacity planning procedure. Next, aggregate planning. Aggregate planning. Aggregate planning. Next, investment decision. Investment decision. Investment decision. And the last one is replacement analysis. Replacement analysis. Replacement analysis. So these points we are going to study, we are going to understand while studying this chapter. Okay. I hope you have written all the points in this syllabus. Okay. Okay. So next point is introduction. Okay. So now we know that we have discussed, or in the first chapter we have discussed that for any production process there are some kind of inputs. Okay, I will say this is the input, and then after doing some procedure you will get the output. Okay, you will get the output. So here you are doing some processes, okay, like machining, okay, then quality checking, and you are taking the feedback from the customer, and then you are making the changes in the inputs or in the production process. Okay, so this is the production system. This is the production system. So here the important points are nothing but what kind of inputs you are providing for the production process, and what kind of goods or what kind of a quality of goods you are achieving from that particular production process. So here the outputs will be served to the customer. Okay, outputs or the goods will be served to the customers, and customer will provide the feedback about that particular output, and that feedback will be provided to the production process. Okay, these are the processes. Here you are doing the processes, and also if required these outputs are provided to the inputs. Now inputs are nothing but main machine material, okay, energy and information. These are nothing but the inputs for any production process. Okay, and the operations you are going to implement to convert that inputs in the outputs. So that is nothing but a production process. Okay, production process operation that you are performing to convert the inputs into a suitable goods or the outputs, that will be considered as a production processes or the operation processes. Okay, so this conversion point and the inputs are the important part for any production system. Okay, and if you want to achieve the actual demand of a customer, okay, you want to achieve, let us say in this particular month the demand for the product is 1000 unit, and you want to utilize all the inputs whatever the available with you, that is man, machine, material, energy and information, and you want to complete or fulfill the demand for that particular month. Okay, then your objective is in this manner that you should produce that components with a minimum cost. Okay, with a minimum cost, and
the machining time period required to produce that component, that should be also minimum. Then next is nothing but the rejection for the product will be minimum. Okay, that are the objectives for your production process. Okay, so that is nothing but what, for that purpose you required the proper planning. Okay, so, or we can say that the effective management of that particular all the processes and the input parameters are required. Okay, and by doing that thing you are managing the capacity, or you are improving the capacity of your plant. Okay, let us take the example that if you have produced the 1000 components, and out of that 1000 components, the 50 components are rejected by the customer or rejected by the party, okay, or your customer. So in that case your capacity will be considered as a 950 components only. So that will impacted, or whatever the rejection will be considered as a rework or the waste for your company. Okay, so that much cost will be lost, or it may be cost equal to your profit for 1000 component also. So you lose the profit, total profit of all the production processes or whatever you have performed, okay, by rejecting the 50 components, or not maintaining the proper quality of 50 components also. So that will be a wipe out your all the profit from that particular job also. Okay, so here you required to be conscious about the quality of the product. You should be conscious about your production processes. You should be conscious about the inputs provided to that particular production processes, and finally you should be conscious about the feedback given by the customer. Okay, and implementation of that feedback in the production processes or in the output. Okay, whatever is the desired for that particular feedback, that should be make the changes, and you have to manage the things. Okay, so here you have to do the effective management, and you have to manage the capacity of your plant. Okay, so capacity means what? Let us discuss once again. It is the number of component produced per month time period, or for the given time period. So that will be the capacity for that particular plant. Okay, now this planning will be useful if you have produced that component with a given capacity. Okay, let us say my company is maximum production rate is 1000 component, but the actual component production rate is 915 units. Then you can consider that at least I should achieve 950 component production per day, so that I will get a more profit from that production rate. Okay, or I can fulfill the customer's demand. Okay, I can fulfill the customer's demand. Here the objective of the capacity planning is nothing, or the capacity management is, first thing is nothing but you should plan the capacity. Okay, you should plan the capacity, and the second one is you should control the capacity. Controlling I have discussed just only, that planning is nothing but for next 1 year how much production you want. Accordingly you have to purchase the new machines, or you have to install the new machines, and that will be the long term planning. Then controlling capacity, let us consider that my 1 month production rate is 1 lakh component or 1000 component. So at least I should reach to that level. Okay, at least I should reach to that level, so that I can fulfill the customer demand. So that is nothing but a controlling of capacity. Okay, so here you can say that the design of a production system involves the planning for the input, conversion process, and the output of a production operation. The effective management of the capacity is the most important responsibility of a production management. The main objective of a capacity management, that is nothing but a planning and the controlling of a capacity, is to match the level of operation to level of a demand. Okay, and the capacity planning is to be carried out by keeping in mind future growth and expansion plans and market trends and the sales forecasting. Okay, so if you want to increase the capacity, then you should know the forecasting, sales forecasting, then market trend of that particular product in the market. Now you know what is meant by trend, that you have learned in the forecasting. Then according to that, okay, if you know the sales forecasting and the market trend for that particular product in the market, then you can estimate the future growth of that particular business, and you can able to take the decision for the expansion of a capacity, for the expansion of a capacity. So expansion of a capacity means what? Expansion of or we can say that installation of new machines as per the requirement, or as per the demand of the market. Then hiring the manpower as per the demand. Then keeping more number of inventory. Okay. Then keeping about the inventory, we can say that the sellable goods inventory, that is also a part of inventory, and the raw material inventory. If you want to increase the capacity, then all these points should be considered. Or if you want to do the expansion of a company, then this all the points should be considered in that particular expansion. Okay. So this capacity planning is to be carried out by keeping in mind future growth and expansion plans, also market trends and sales forecasting. Okay, sales forecasting. So what is meant by capacity? You can say, okay, 1 minute, I will drop this. What is meant by capacity? It is the upper limit or ceiling on the load that an operating unit can handle. Okay, load means what? How much component you want to produce in the given time period. So that is nothing but load on machine and load on manpower. Okay, so highest limit or the upper limit, maximum आप कितना निकाल सकते हो उस मशीन से and उस मैन पावर से. ओके, एक वर्कर है और एक मशीन है, तो उस मशीन का कितना अपर लिमिट हो सकता है और वो वर्कर का कितना अपर लिमिट हो सकता है. सो दोनों में हम कैपेसिटी मेजर कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो वर्कर की भी कैपेसिटी मेजर कर सकते हैं, वो कितना प्रोड्यूस कर सकता है 8 घंटे में, 12 घंटे में, 10 घंटे में. नहीं तो मशीन की भी हम कैपेसिटी मेजर कर सकते हैं कि वो मशीन कितनी प्रोड्यूस कर सकती है. ओके, एंड सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ कैपेसिटी will be considered for different machine, whatever the available in that particular industry, and the total capacity of the industry will be measured. Okay, the total capacity of the industry or that particular company will be measured. So it is the upper limit or a ceiling on the load that an operating unit can handle. Okay, that an operating unit can handle. Okay. So next point we can consider, it includes, now just we have discussed that it includes the equipment capacity, space capacity, and the employee skill capacity. Okay, employee skill capacity. So capacity is also be expressed as the rate of productive capability of the facilities, and the capacity is also expressed as a volume of output per period of a time. Volume is number of components or the size of the components. Let us consider the automobile industry. So the number of vehicle produced in 1 month time period, or 1 day time period, or 1 year time period. So that is the capacity of that particular industry. Let us consider any bakery and the production of a cake from that particular bakery. So per day 1000 component is produced, or 1000 cakes are produced, or 100 cakes are produced, then that will be the capacity of that particular bakery. Okay, so here we can say that it can be expressed as a volume of output per period of a time. Okay, and it can be considered as a rate of a productive capability of a facilities. Okay, so facility means what? Whatever the equipments you are using, whatever the machines you are using to produce the things, so that is nothing but a capacity. So capacity can be expressed as equipment. Okay, number of a production, like a machine. Let us consider a CNC machine can produce the 400 components in a 1 day time period. Then if you are having the 10 machines, then how much the capacity of your plant? Then space occupying the number of components. Okay, let us say you are handling one go down or warehouse. Okay, so the capacity of that particular warehouse, like the space is available in that warehouse. Okay, let us take the example of your cold storage. Okay, so how much tonnage of kismis can be stored in that particular uh, 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 warehouse, or we can say that the cold storage. So that will be the capacity of that cold storage. Okay, so space in sense of a space also we can showcase the capacity of particular things. Then the employee skills. So like that, I have suggested that one worker, how much component can produce in a given time period. So that will be the employee skill capacity. Okay, employee skill capacity. So accordingly, some industries can provide or distinguish the worker as a non-skilled, semi-skilled, or high-skilled workers. Okay, so in this manner we can define the capacity. So now you can write the introduction for the capacity. Introduction. In that first point, design of the production system. Design of the production system involves planning for the inputs, conversion process, and output of production operation, Second point, the effective management of the capacity. The effective management of the capacity is the most important responsibility of production management The main objective of capacity management, in bracket, that is planning and control of capacity. The main objective of capacity management, in bracket, that is planning and control of capacity. Bracket complete, is to match the level of operations, to level of a demand. Next, capacity planning is to be carried out by keeping in mind future growth and expansion plans. Then market trends, sales forecasting. Capacity planning is to be carried out keeping in mind future growth and expansion plans, market trends, sales forecasting. Okay, so write down next point. Capacity the definition. It is the upper limit or a ceiling. Ceiling का मीनिंग छत होता है, तो हाईएस्ट हम घर की बात करें तो छत सबसे ऊपर होता है. That is nothing but the upper limit. Also we can say that ceiling. It is the upper limit or a ceiling on the load that an operating unit can handle. That an operating unit can handle. That an operating unit can handle. Okay. It includes first one, equipment, space, employee skills. Equipment, space, employee skills. Equipment, space, employee skills. Okay. Then you can write down next. Capacity is the rate of productive capability of a facility. Capacity is the rate of productive capability of a facility. Productive capability of a facility. The next one, capacity is usually expressed as volume of output per period of a time. Volume of output per period of a time. Okay. Now, volume of output per period of time मतलब एक साल में कितने नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स आपने प्रोड्यूस किए, नहीं तो एक मंथ में आपने कितने नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स प्रोड्यूस किए. So that is nothing but volume. Number of products is also considered as a volume. If you consider the mining industry, so volume will be considered as 1,000 tons of alloys, or we can say that the raw material or the mining material. So that will be considered as a volume. In automobile sector, number of automobiles produced in a month, 1 month time period. So number of automobiles will be considered as a volume. Okay. So capacity is usually expressed as a volume of output per period of a time. Okay. Next point is capacity planning. So what we are doing in this capacity planning? Okay. First of all, for the organization, we need to understand the capacity of a particular organization. Okay. Need to understand what is the capacity of our organization. Okay. And what are the factors which are affecting on the capacity of that particular organization. Okay. कौन से factor उस factory के capacity पे affect कर रहे हैं, कौन से भी हो सकते हैं. Okay. Like power breakdown. This is also one factor. Because of that, the capacity will be reduced for the industry. Second thing, we can say that the skillful worker or not availability, workers are not available in a proper amount or proper quantity to complete the work. So that is also the factor. The third thing, we can say that the machine breakdown, okay, or the maintenance of a machine. Okay, so that will be the factor which will affect on the capacity. Okay. The next thing is nothing but raw material availability. This is also a factor which is affect on the capacity. Let us consider you have a demand for your product in the market, but the required raw material is not available with you, or required raw material having or we can say that it is not available in the market and you cannot purchase that raw material, okay, to produce the goods. So that will also affect on the things. So all the input parameter will be affect on the output things, okay, or the processing units which are used to convert the raw material into the finished good. So the problem related to that, which also affect on the capacity of any industry. So first you need to understand what is the capacity of that particular plant or existing capacity of that particular plant. Then the things are related to the input parameters and processing units, which are the factors that are affecting on the capacity of that particular plant. Okay, that I have listed over here. Then what is the demand for that particular product in the market, whether it is steady demand or it is a fluctuating demand. So that is also important. For the long time period, the fluctuating demand will not be affect that much, but it will affect in a shorter time frame. Okay, let us consider that tomorrow there is no load or there is no demand for your product in the market, and if you produce the goods, uh, 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 if you have the plan to produce the goods tomorrow, so that will need to keep in a stock. Okay, that will keep in a stock, and that will be considered as a burden if you lose one day sell. So production for that one day will be stored, and when there is a peak period, time period, or a peak selling period for your product in the market, at that time it will be sold out in the market. Okay, but for that time period, or when it, let us say after 6 months you will get a peak period. For the 6 month time period, that one day production, extra production will be considered as a backlog for your industry. Okay, and that much cost will be, or that much capital will be blocked in that products. Okay, so while doing the capacity planning, or while doing any kind of a planning, you should have a firm knowledge of your product demand in the market in a shorter time frame and for the longer time frame also. So shorter time frame is for the day, for the 15, or for the fortnight, or for the month, for 6 months, for 1 year. So that will be the shorter time frame forecasted demand. Longer time frame, we can say that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years time period, what will be the demand or what will be the trend for your product in the market. So that understanding should be there, and accordingly you need to take the steps, whether you need to increase your capacity or you need to decrease your capacity. Accordingly you need to manage the resources also, whether the raw material amount should be increased or decreased, whether the workers, more workers are required in the future, skilled workers are required or not, or semi-skilled workers are required or not. So that is the part of a capacity planning. The purchase of a machines, new machines, whether it is required or you need to sell out whatever the machines are available in the company as the demand, that also the required steps you need to take in a longer time frame. Okay, if your production or the demand of a product is declining, your product is having declining trend line for the longer time frame, then you have to reduce your capacity according to the demand of the product in the market. So that planning is very much important. Okay, for the shorter time frame and for the longer time frame. So capacity planning is 1 minute. So capacity planning is the process of determining the production capacity needed by organization to meet the changing demand for its products. Okay, आपको क्या करना है, पहले तो डिमांड चेक करनी है, फोरकास्टिंग करना है कि कितना माल उठाया जाएगा मार्केट से, आपने कितना माल बेचा जाएगा मार्केट में, उसका तो फोरकास्टिंग इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो 10-20 हो गया, 19-20 हो गया तो नो इशू. ओके, so that can be beared by the company, that can be blocked, no issue. But आपने 1000 सोचा था और 100 ही सेल आउट हो गया, so 900 का क्या करे? Okay, so that will not pay back you whatever the amount you have invested in that product. So actual demand, that should be more close to the forecasted demand. Okay, and accordingly your forecasting methodology should be implemented to understand the actual demand. Okay, or the forecasted demand. Then once you get that actual demand, and accordingly you have to plan whether my product is having the demand for the or growth of that particular product in the market or not. Okay, yes, is there growth for that particular product, then plan for the maximum capacity, or to plan for the extra capacity, or to plan for the increment in the capacity of the industry. So planning is important. So capacity planning is nothing but managing the things which are required to increase the output of production, output of a production process. So demand for its product, understanding of a changing demand for the product is important. The basic questions in a capacity handling are: what kind of a capacity is needed, like machine capacity you want to increase, manpower capacity you want to increase, external or raw material capacity you want to increase, or we can say that the output product capacity you want to increase. Then the second question in the capacity planning is nothing but how much it is needed. Okay, कितना आप बढ़ाना चाहते हो. Okay, and कब आपको ये बढ़ाई हुई quantity चाहिए. That is nothing but when it is needed. Okay, first is which kind of a capacity you want to improve, then how much you want to improve, and at what time or when it is needed. Okay, so these three questions, planning related to this question or answer related to this three question will be considered for the capacity planning. Okay, so capacity planning is the first step when an organization decide to produce more or new products. Okay, जब भी आप नए प्रोडक्ट प्रोड्यूस करना चाहते हो, नहीं तो नई इंडस्ट्री एस्टैब्लिश करना चाहते हो, नहीं तो आपकी एग्जिस्टिंग इंडस्ट्री में कैपेसिटी बढ़ाना चाहते हो, तब आपको कैपेसिटी प्लानिंग का मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइजेशन करना चाहिए. तब आपको कैपेसिटी प्लानिंग को बहुत अच्छी तरह से इंप्लीमेंट करना चाहिए. Okay, so capacity planning, write down the heading capacity planning. Capacity planning. Okay, capacity planning, write down the heading. In that you can write capacity planning is the process. Capacity planning is the process capacity planning is the process of determining the production capacity needed, of determining the production capacity needed by an organization to meet changing demands for its products, to meet changing demands for its products. The basic question in capacity handling, the basic question in capacity handling are first one, what kind of a capacity is needed? What kind of a capacity is needed? What kind of a capacity is needed? Second one, first question is what kind of a capacity is needed? Second one, how much is needed? How much is needed? And the last one is when is it needed? When is it needed? When is it needed? Next point you can write capacity planning. Capacity planning is the first step, is the first step, is the first step when an organization, when an organization, when an organization decides decides to produce decides to produce more or new products, more or new products, more or new products. Okay, full stop. Now next is nothing but the measurement of capacity. How to measure the capacity? See, it is simple one, no issue, but it is somewhat tedious when number of or variety of products are producing by that particular company. Okay, so if you consider the single product, okay, let us say your company is producing only one product. There is no another product or there is no another variety for that particular product is available in your company, then it will be very simple to calculate or understand the capacity of a plant or the machines of that particular industry. Okay, but if your company has having number of variety and the same machineries are used to produce the different varieties of your products, then it will be difficult to understand the capacity of that particular industry. So in that case, you have to switch over from number of products towards or volume of products towards the number of man hours required to produce the goods or number of machine hours to required to produce the things. Okay, so that will be also one kind of a capacity. Okay, so let us say 8 hours consumed to produce one kind of a volume of a product, or 8 hours are consumed for particular machines to produce a bulk number of products. Then 8 hours multiplied by, if you are having the 10 machines, the 8 multiplied by 10 will be the capacity for that industry machining center. Or if you have consumed the 8 hours of one man hours, or we can say that from for one workers 8 hours are utilized to produce the goods. Then if you are having 10 workers, then 8 multiplied by 10, that will be the total man hour capacity for the production, right? Total man hour capacity for the production. So when there is a simple product or only one manufacturing or tangible product, then it will be simple one to calculate the capacity or to measure the capacity. But if the company is producing n number of a variety of products and using the similar facilities to produce that particular good, then in that case we have to switch over from number of or the number of products produced or the volume of product towards the number of man hours consumed or number of machine hours consumed to produce the products. Okay, so here some of the examples are listed, simple examples are listed for the measurement of a capacity. For automobile units, we can say that the capacity of automobile plants will be measured as a number of vehicles produced per month. For steel plant, it will be measured as a millions of tons produced per annum. For textile, it can be measured as meters of cloths produced per day, per month, per year. Okay, so next point is, it is difficult, as I have said now only, that it is difficult to express the capacity when the company manufacture multiple products and some of the products require common facilities or shareable facilities and other specialized facilities. Then in that situation, measuring capacity is more complicated. In such a situation, the capacity is not expressed as an output per period of a time, but usually expressed as a man hours or a machine hours, or sometime in terms of applicable resources. Now, if you are having the job shop kind of a production system, okay, then in that case, you cannot say that you are producing one component in 1 year or one product in a 1 month time period. So it will not be a good thing to express the volume uh, per time period capacity of the job shop type of a production system. So in that case, you have to go for how much number of machines hours or the man hours are consumed to produce that good. Okay. So which type of products come under job shop type of production system? Let us consider you are designing a boiler for one of the industries. So boiler manufacturing should be a job shop type of a production system. Then you are producing a turbine, okay, for National Hydraulic Power Corporation or for one of the dam. So that will should be one kind of a job shop type of production. Okay, so big equipments, big machineries, or ship manufacturing. So that big equipments or big products required large time period to produce. So in that case, that can be measured as a man hours or a machine hours. Then for the hospital, how one can express the capacity of a hospital? Let us say in the hospital there are 10 beds. Okay, for how much number of days that 10 beds are occupied? Okay, so that will be the capacity of hospital. So bed days per month. Let us say I'm admitted in the hospital and I was admitted for 5 days only. 5 days. Okay. So my 5 days, another 10 candidates are there. There 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. So that will be the addition of all the days and how much number of days per month uh, 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 that beds are fulfilled or uh, uh, the peoples are admitted, that will be considered as a hospital capacity. Now, for the transportation, how one can express the transportation capacity, or we can say the local transportation capacity. So it can be expressed in a seats kilometers per month. Okay, एक आदमी कितने किलोमीटर तक ट्रैवल करता है और पर मंथ में कितना ट्रैवलिंग होता है. ओके, सो सीट्स किलोमीटर्स पर मंथ में हम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की कैपेसिटी एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो इन दिस मैनर वी कैन एक्सप्रेस. ओके, one type of a capacity measurement we cannot implement for all the types of capacity measurement. So for different industries, the capacity measurement will be different one. Okay, for the different industries, capacity measurement will be different one. Getting my point? Okay, so write down measurement of a capacity. Measurement of a capacity. Measurement of capacity. First point, it is easy and simple to measure. It is easy and simple to measure. It is easy and simple to measure the capacity of the unit. It is simple. It is easy and simple to measure the capacity of unit manufacturing homogeneous tangible products which can be counted. Homogeneous means what? एक समान. Okay, tangible means जिसको हम छू सकते हैं और फील कर सकते हैं कि ये कौन सा तो प्रोडक्ट है. That is nothing but tangible. So it is easy and simple to measure the capacity of the unit manufacturing homogeneous tangible products which can be counted. Next point, the capacity of such units can be expressed, the capacity of such units can be expressed in number of units, of output per period. The capacity of such units can be expressed in number of units of output per period. For example, for automobile unit, for automobile unit, number of vehicles produced, per month. Second, for steel plant, millions of tons. Okay, so millions of tons of steel, okay, produced per annum. Millions of tons of steel produced per annum. Then next, for textile mills, it can be expressed as a meter of cloth per day or per month or per annum. Meter of cloth per day, per month, per annum. Okay. In continue, you can write, it is difficult to express capacity. It is difficult to express capacities when the company manufactures capacity when the company manufactures multiple products, and some of the products requiring common facilities, and others specialized facilities, full stop. In this situation, measuring capacity is more complicated. Full stop. Next point, in such situations, comma, the capacity is not expressed as output per period of a time, expressed as output per period of a time, but usually expressed as man hours, comma, usually expressed as man hours, comma, machine hours, or sometime in terms of applicable resources. Okay, applicable resources means sometimes it may be expressed as a raw material requirement, it may be expressed as a energy requirement, okay, for the production purpose. Okay, so next, for example, First one, a job shop can be measured. Job shop means job shop type of a production system can measure its capacity in machine hours and oblique or man hours. Okay, sometimes you require both machine hours and man hours, or sometimes you can use one of out of two. Okay, the next one, for hospitals it is expressed as, for hospitals it is expressed for hospitals for hospitals it is expressed as bed days per month. Third one, the transport system is expressed in seat kilometers per month. Okay, transport system is expressed in a seat kilometer per month. Okay, getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? If not, then you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box. A and B division students can put up their roll numbers as A 51, 52, B 51, 52, like that. Okay, so I can easily segregate your roll numbers while putting your attendance. Okay, so provide your class also and then roll number. Okay, so do it as early as possible because I'm going to close this meeting.